Hello, everybody, and welcome to Encounter Roleplay. My name is Will. I'm a D&D sex icon, and we're here today to play some more Zweihander RPG, and we're going to be having a good time today with the Blackhearts. We've got a full cast and crew with us, so let's go around the cast and the crew. Let's remind ourselves of who we are and who we'll be playing today. So let's start with Kimmy. Welcome back, Kimmy, and remind us who you're going to be playing today.
Thank you. I'm Miss Kimmy D85 on Twitter, Miss Kimmy D on Twitch, and I'm going to be playing Danny, who is a human fop. So she's just kind of a socialite.
Yes, absolutely. And we have Doxy back with us today. Doxy, how are you doing?
I'm hanging in there. How are you doing, Will?
I'm doing good. Good.
Good. My name is Doxy. I'm playing Persephone. I almost said Penelope, but that's not her name. She's mean. She does magic.
That's right. She has needles as well. Do not forget.
Needles.
So many needles.
All the needles.
It's a couple less needles than she did last week, actually, because she threw some needles at people. So there's that. Gonna have to restock pretty soon. We have Ruben back with us today. Ruben, how's it going, my friend?
That's right. I didn't know that I still don't know your character's name. I thought we were playing with Hilda this whole time. Hi, everybody. It's spoilers for Nick, obviously. Anyway, hi, everybody. I'm the Internet's Mox Ruby. I'll be playing Nicholas Rattenbury, and I am a Bravo, a bit of a Inigo Montoya kind of character. That uses a pike and some je ne sais quoi on his attacks to sort of be the tank, I think, of the party.
Yeah, absolutely. Got into some good fighting last week as well, so Nick definitely held his own. As did Polaris. Lydia, how's it going today?
Hi, it's going great. I'm Lydia playing Polaris. She's a astrologer. She wants to know your sign.
Yes. So cast some fucking lightning bolts at you to kill you if you got the wrong side.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Of course, we have Speedy back with us today. Speedy, how's it going?
Hello. It's going great. Nothing weird happening outside my apartment at all.
Recording your first album.
Yeah, just recording my first album.
Yep.
I am returning to play as Charlie Barber, a human barber surgeon. Quick with a blade and with a leech and, ready to help bleed anyone who needs it or who desperately doesn't want it if they're bad. Also, I have a mask and a book now. I'm just collecting things.
You don't have the mask anymore, do you?
I don't.
No, actually, you don't have the mask. Yeah, you lost the mask. You traded it out for a book. It's like an antique sort of roadshow every week.
Are there
Charlie?
Are those other people wearing masks?
Actually, yeah, there are.
Oh yeah, we could probably get those. We'll get those later.
I can grab myself some. I can have more masks.
Yeah. Great. The valuation just tripled. It's crazy. And it wouldn't be the Blackhearts if it wasn't for Emmett. How's it going, Em? Good to see you today, my friend.
Good.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. My name is Emmett, and I am pantsingly terrified of Vic Mignogna's lawyers. I'm playing Doom, who is an elf anarchist. I like to throw bombs, and I try to help my friends survive the day. I don't always succeed, but I'll certainly always try.
Done okay so far.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay,
You guys have been.
far.
You guys have
We
been
got
killing
a
it,
little
so-
beat up last week, but this week we're doing a lot better.
Yeah, that's
I hope.
true.
Poor Charlie.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, you guys got a couple of injuries to get to, some wounds. We'll do all that. But first of all, if you guys didn't know by now, if this is the first time you're watching us, we are playing Zweihander RPG, and there's actually a special sale on today as we're broadcasting this. It is GM's
so
Day,
good.
so it's so good.
so good.
You can get Zweihander, Main Gauss, 13 Zweihander supplements for just about $40 on Drive4RPG, and if you've already bought one of the books, you get the discount discounted from the total sale as well. So for me, it's like £20 to get all the way. So I went ahead and got that today. So if you haven't checked it out, I'll drop the link there. If you want to check out Zweihander in general, you can go to grimandperilous.com. You can buy it on Target.com, on Walmart.com. So yeah, it's a really fantastic D100 system that we've been thoroughly enjoying over the past few weeks here. And I'm excited. We're going to get into some of the healing mechanics, some of the leeching mechanics, and also a bit of corruption today as well. So yeah, this is going to be fun. Yeah, I'll remind you guys what happened last week on the show. Quick little recap. Goes as follows. The party decided to head down the river in the steps of the dead man, Marion, who had got this strange sort of green fungus had grown upon him. People said that there were ghosts around with white masks. The party decided to investigate. They headed up the river with a lot of unnameable fish in it. And they found something strange happened to them. In fact, something strange specifically happened to Charlie because he had stolen a mask a little while ago. The mask, weirdly enough, started talking to him, and the mask claimed to be someone called the Heartless Man, and it had an offer for the party that if they decided to take a detour down to the Heartless Man's library, then the mask would make sure that they weren't immediately killed by a bunch of the river masked, as he referred to them, these sort of strange creatures which have been hunting them before in Arkenbury Forest. They decided, you know what, if a magic mask starts speaking to you, maybe there's something to it. So they decided to head off to that library. They got into a fight there with a man named Victor and his lackeys, while Hilda, aka Persephone, had actually put the mask onto what Victor's face. The mask sort of refound its body. And promptly proceeded to try and murder them after they had done exactly what it wanted to. Luckily for them, the party managed to overcome just about the masked figures, but they were pretty grievously wounded. I think Charlie was particularly grievously wounded by a spell from the Heartless Man, Librarian, before he managed to slip away, dissipating into blood to escape. Outside, the party cast magic spells, bombs, fought with pikes, daggers, and pretty much anything in between to murder the other masked men. And so they lie dead. I think it is just Nick and Charlie who are wounded right now. I know Charlie's pretty badly wounded. It could even be Tomb that took a blade. It's been a whole week, so you guys have to remind me. But yeah, they're looking a little bit beat up at the moment. We can say that Danny was throwing some daggers in the fight as well. She's assumed to have been with us for the time being. But you know, maybe not all too effective. A couple of daggers thrown out into the woods happened in the first fight for Danny, so maybe happened this time as well. So I think we'll pick straight back up. Right now, Charlie and Nick are inside the library itself. You stand before this ancient, crumbling library. You've explored one of the rooms so far. There's probably a lot more to explore. Charlie has been wounded by the spell. Nick might have taken a cut here or there. Charlie has the book that Librarian had in his hands before he disappeared. And the rest of the party lie outside after you guys sort of sprung the trap on them. So I guess maybe we pick up with Charlie and Nick inside the library as the fight comes to a close. What do you guys do?
Just to clarify, I don't have anything written down for damage. I believe I parried all of my attacks.
Okay, good.
If you have something else written down, let me know.
I think I was confusing you with Tomb. Yeah.
Potentially.
Yeah.
I totally got hit.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
Not looking so good there, Barber. You feeling all right? You need something? I got some tincture here.
No, it's all right.
That eye looks bad.
It's not great.
I've got this eye patch if you want to wear that for the future.
I think the additional pressure on the eye might just make it worse, honestly. I might have some trouble seeing for a bit though.
You gonna stop making unilateral decisions anytime soon? This was a bad idea.
We made this one together.
Well, we came here together. We didn't run inside away from the rest of our party together. I'm glad you're okay. If you want any of this, I got some laudanum.
And some other things that you can wear.
Yeah, right.
No, it's fine.
All right.
I'm going
Let's
to
meet up with.
I patch up my wounds with bandages, and I will find Tomb and do the same. Otherwise, we will both bleed out and die.
Yeah, we'll walk back out to the rest of the group from inside. I'm going to keep an eye about me, make sure that nothing weird is happening.
Of course, yeah, the night has fallen silent again. Similarly to when you defeated them before, it feels like the woods around you have given up. And so Danny, Persephone, Tomb, and Polaris, you see Charlie sort of staggering out, clearly having a wound to his eye. He's got something caustic on him, which has been burning away his skin. Nick looks relatively unharmed, but he's obviously tired from the fight as well, and he's sort of helping Charlie get out of the library.
Are you guys okay?
I would offer to help him, but I'm pretty beat up myself. So.
Yeah, we'll be fine. Charlie needs a rest, but we'll be okay.
Tomb, you're not looking great either.
No, but I need some rest and maybe some medical attention.
Yeah, let me see you with my good eye at least.
Yeah, what is the nature of Tomb's injuries?
The Tomb was stabbed a couple of times, and I think two of you, I think Charlie and Tomb are both moderately wounded.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can. There's a couple of ways that you can heal wounds. The problem for Charlie is that he has an injury. Is that correct?
Yes,
correct.
You have a moderate injury.
Eye. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, he's way off. He's way worse off than I am.
yeah. So you can heal a moderately wounded. You can get it up a step by doing a routine heal test. You can do that once every 24 hours. So every time you succeed in a heal test, once every 24 hours, it goes up a step in the damage condition tracker. If you critically succeed, it goes up 2 steps. You can also imbibe a draft of laudanum, which moves up the damage condition track positively, but you suffer 1 corruption. So laudanum is sort of like a healing potion, but it's not all good.
At cost. Yeah,
at cost. Yeah. And by the way, Charlie has 3 corruption for taking an injury already. Injuries mean that you can't heal your damage tracker until you heal the injury. So you can treat the injuries using a heal test. 1 injury is a routine, so it's plus 10% on the heal test. You can also do surgery, and a recuperation time, if you don't have any of those things available and you just want to like sleep it off basically, is 1d10 plus 1 days to recuperate. So it could be as many as 11 days to get rid of that injury if you didn't see to it. They can also get infected as well if you don't look to it. For instance, if you get like a critically failed heal test to treat an injury, you can get an infection. But I can also dictate when a wound gets infected as well. For instance, if you were to have a gaping wound on your arm that you say that you're not looking to, and you're out in the swamps for a week, then I might say that, hey, you're going to get an infection unless you're careful. So that's what you got. You're going to need some heal tests. You can do 1 every 24 hours on a person, no matter if it's successful or not.
Yeah.
Well, you could do some laudanum.
I'm gonna do some heal tests.
Yeah. Sounds
I'll
good.
do 1 for myself and 1 for Tomb.
I will show off my half-dozen vials of laudanum, 3 of which I picked up from the Wretched Widow, 3 of which I just have, because that's the kind of guy I am. I picked these up along the way. Don't worry about where they came from. Yeah, I will.
First hit's always free.
Exactly. That's how they get you. I will offer them to just freely, and then if not taken, put them back away.
I don't want one. I'd rather keep clean of the stuff personally. But if Tomb, you'd like to be relieved.
You want one? There you go. Here you go, buddy.
Thank you.
I would toss, I have 3 bandages and some Epsom salt and smelling salts. I would just toss those to Charlie and head inside the library.
Yeah, I have my own bandages, so I don't need those.
Be careful in there.
I have some multiply to this.
And she just finger guns at Nick and keeps
We haven't
going.
scouted the whole place yet.
Well, we're gonna.
Polaris doesn't know anything about healing, but I think that she would try to help.
Right.
Yeah. So using binding wounds uses a bandage. It doesn't help, but you would have to have a bandage to do it. If that makes sense. I think if you have anything in the heal check, you could try and roll it. The only thing is that failing them or critically failing them can cause infection. So you don't want someone who's not at least sensible to try and look at a gaping wound that you have, because they could easily make it worse.
Yeah.
Listen,
So I
I'm not
have
going to look at your wound anymore.
I have a heal skill. I have a barber surgeon ability called Pliers Scalpel Bone Saw that gives me an additional 10% on that. And then I have another ability called Determination. It means when I attempt an extended test to take my time to do something, I get another plus 10%. So
Okay.
If you want to turn to page 257 in your hymnals to look at healing and hazards, you can play along at home.
I should also say as well, one other thing, and is that I forgot to do at the end of the last session, is that Charlie, because you gained corruption, you should roll me a D10 or at the end of the last session, and we'll do that for now.
Okay, I'll do that first.
Cool. So you're actually fine. If you roll equal to or less than your current corruption, you can gain a chaos. You can get a step in your chaos rank. But because it's more, you increase your order rank by 1 step. And these are, it's a little bit like an alignment tracker, I guess. It's like how, but more so how you're falling and resisting like chaotic powers that may be at work. So for instance, because you gained corruption thanks to this evil spell which Darian cast on you, if you had failed that, it could be that, this book, it's a little bit like sanity, I guess. So Charlie may start to dabble in the dark arts or be prone to dabble in them if you were to fail that. But he's feeling good about himself.
I didn't.
Hey, Tomb, can I get a trade for the laudanum? I'll give you an extra one if you give me one of those cheap bottles of wine that you stole from the Wretched Widow.
I only grabbed stuff that was unbelievably flammable.
But it was like on the bar, right? Like these were well drinks.
Yeah,
no, this
you could drink them probably.
Yeah, they can certainly be. You can buy it if you want one. Yeah, go nuts.
Yeah, I would like one of the bottles.
Yeah, sure.
Just to have.
You get boozy, I'll get
garbage. So is this vodka or is this wine? Like, is this liquor or is this?
It's going to be a spirit. It's not going to be like a fermented wine. It's going to be something.
Cool. Good news.
Yeah,
great. I'm just going to hold on to that.
Yeah, it's going to be something that was made with a still, not something that was made with a, fermentation process.
Cool. I'm just going to hold on to that.
Shoving?
By all means. Honestly, I'm only taking the laudanum to make me more tolerable to the rest of you.
Appreciate that.
That's fair.
So right. Tomb goes up to lightly wounded with taking the laudanum and takes a corruption point for doing so. What do you want to do, John?
I'll mark off 2 of my vials. You have the extra one on your. You just have the extra one there, Tomb.
I'll try and tend to the remainder of Tomb's wounds as well.
Okay.
First, Tomb, you mind if I take a look at those as well?
By all means.
Give you some patching up.
Laudanum first, please. Thank you.
52 is a success.
Nice. Tomb is no longer wounded. Or lightly wounded.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And then for myself, I'm gonna make this an extended test, so I'm gonna spend like an hour just sort of poring over my own wounds and like carefully sewing them and like dealing with the pain of doing that to myself, but trying to be as precise as possible.
Okay.
And
Nice.
that's also success.
Huzzah. Okay, so Persephone, you said that you were going straight into the library. Would you have waited for the others to heal up, or are you just gonna take a look around?
She would just go in. She would actually put on her blindfold as she got inside, and she is using some magic here. Her witch sight.
Like this.
So I need to roll for it, but this will help me to visually determine if an object or person is magic. It's detect magic and the supernatural.
You're going full bird box on this. Do you want to channel this spell?
Let me take a look here real fast.
Yeah, so as a reminder, it gives you plus 10 per channel, but you also get a chaos die. When you roll a 6 on a chaos die, you get a chaos manifestation. We roll a chaos manifestation, and something weird or possibly demonic happens.
Nah.
Just a standard old witch site.
Yeah.
Classic.
I'm sorry, witch site? No, I'm kidding. Sorry.
Oh my god.
wow.
Oh, no.
No. I'll mark it off on my damage condition track from the sick
Game
bird.
1 corruption, yeah.
Go to jail.
Go to jail. Do not pass go. Do not collect $100.
And that's like 200 laudanum.
I successfully cast Witch Sight, by the way.
Nice.
Wow. Okay, fantastic.
You sure do.
Do you know what the range is on which side? Or just where you're seeing, I guess?
I think it's just the room that I'm in. Because it doesn't say anything.
Yeah,
like I have
I
a
guess it
blindfold on, so like I can just like see if there's magic and walk towards it.
So I'll give you the sort of the general surroundings. This whole place sort of glows with magic, and it's an old magic as well, and it's a sort of like low ripple of magic in this, not only in this room, but you sense in this entire library, which is in fact quite a large structure. You sense that it goes down as well, that there is an underbelly to the library under which something resonates with magic, as does the book which Charlie has, which he was holding previously and is probably set down to him while he's binding his wounds. Most clearly that thing is a magic book. Yes, Nick?
Does the book have a title that is easily readable?
It doesn't. It's not titled.
Okay.
At least not the front page. If you want to open up and take a look, that's definitely something they can do.
Charlie play untitled. Yeah.
Right. So that's what you get a sense of, Persephone, that this whole place is definitely somewhere that would be considered like a magical site, potentially dangerous for that reason as well. The winds of magic are strong here.
All right, and no like concentrated hot spots or anything.
Something underneath the library is definitely resonating with you, but you would need to get closer. It's like a radar, I guess. You've got like a little blip which is coming up, but it's kind of weak. You know that something is down there, but you're too far away to sense exactly what that object might be. But the book close to you is the nearest object, which is like, oh yeah, this thing is magic. Yeah.
Cool deal. Okay, so I would put that in my bag. And then I would yell for Polaris and then just start kind of looking around at books, waiting for her to come in.
Okay.
I'd go like right away as soon as I heard her call. I would be afraid that she was in trouble. Also, like I know she probably found something cool.
You're right.
Okay, couple things. Book, very, very magical. So I'll just hold on to it and we can all discuss it together later. Also, there's like maybe some sort of labyrinthine basement to this place, which also has like old, super powerful magic in there. I don't know if you want to go check it out, but my interest is piqued.
I do want to check it out.
All right, you tell the others. I'm gonna do some light reading.
All right.
So you come outside and you see me just prying masks off of these other guys, by the way. With my pike. I'm just like, I don't want to touch them. I'm just like jabbing at their faces, trying to get these masks off.
That's unpleasant.
How do Charlie and Tomb look? Are you guys still healing, or are you look okay?
I mean, it takes me an hour to heal myself, although I actually just checked the rules on my barber ability, and when I heal, I go up one additional step. It's not a plus 10 bonus, so
Sweet. So
I am fully healed.
Hey!
So, I'm great.
Hey, that eye is looking much better!
Tomb's looking okay too. Okay, so I would see Nick prying gross faces off of those guys, and I would kind of just lightly kind of take his arm and say, I have something that I need to show you. Let's get the others.
All right. Okay. That sounds fine.
Is it the vine where the guy almost drops his croissant? Because that's great.
Was I able to pry off any masks, or are we leaving these here?
You can pry them off if you want to take them. You can feel free to. They are bloody and sticky.
Oh yeah, these are mine now. I'm gonna put these in my bag.
Are they talking?
They're gonna put them.
Not yet.
Put them in Spicky's bag because it already has a hole burnt in it.
If there's a hole in it, then it's gonna fall out of the bag. I'll tell you what. I have some rope, actually. And what I would like to do, I believe I have some rope. I don't have it written down, but I thought I had some rope. What I would like to do, if anyone has some rope, is get the eye holes of these masks and just tie them onto this rope and carry them around instead of putting them in the bag.
Like a necklace of masks.
Yeah, I would just carry it over my shoulder. I don't want to wear it.
That's fucking gross still.
I have a mantle, which is like a cloak, right?
Yeah, it's like a shoulder piece.
I wonder if I'm imagining like a hoodie with a drawstring that
yeah.
to tie that I can pull out and give to you as a rope.
We've got a couple of masks we could use as shoulder pads. That'd be kind of dope. But let's do fashion later. We got stuff to do inside.
Okay.
So I would lead you over to the others, and I'd ask, Charlie, Tomb, how are you feeling?
Not great. I've survived worse.
And Charlie?
Better. I'm not going to bleed out anytime soon, at least. This eye doesn't seem to be fading, though.
I went inside the library with Hilda, and she seems to think that there's something in the basement, and I'd like you all to come with me. I think we should go as a group.
The basement?
Yeah.
All right.
Why does she think there's something in there?
I don't know, but I do trust her.
Okay.
Will you come?
It's not like this thing can get worse.
Of course. Wait, is she down in the basement by herself right now?
No, she's just looking at some books, waiting.
Okay.
Also, do I see any interesting books in the library that I might want to take with me?
Oh yeah, you find a couple of books. You find The Legacy of Al Damon Architecture. You find, I'll send it to you in a minute as well. You find The Comprehensive History of Penumbral Languages. You find Lies Told by Our Parents, Volume 1, Vampires and Goblins.
Oh no.
And also Lies Told by Our Parents, Volume 2, The So-Called Elvish Genocide. Amongst that as well, you find what appears to be a diary And you also find a short novel, as a fictional book called The Curious Case of Mr. Rook. And you also find His Missing Gorilla. And amongst there as well, there's another book. I mean, there are a lot of books. There's a fucking library. Is Dwarvish Alchemy.
The book is called
Dwarvish Alchemy, you said?
Yes. Ooh. Yes, His Missing Gorilla. And then there's another book which is Dwarvish Alchemy, A Misunderstood Science. I'll send these all in the fancy graphs.
You can name all these books, but you can't name a single fish.
The history of rainbow trout.
Lies Told by a Parrot, Volume 3. Fish. All right.
I would back up.
Literally about the alpha cost denial.
Wow. That's what I heard that too.
Okay, just checking.
This is a propaganda library.
In my bag, I would place Comprehensive Languages of Penumbra, the Diary, and the Dwarvish Alchemy book. I would take those.
Yeah.
You know that the Dwarvish Alchemy book is just going to be a big, fake book of how to make that ridiculous, like, frat boy punch. Like,
Mash will be pleased. I'm down.
Yeah.
I want to make Mash happy.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, one of the
making some jungle juice with Mash.
One of the steps in making
you've done it, bangers.
One of the steps in making beer is putting all of it into a mash tun. So.
Perfect.
Was that a pun?
It was trying to be.
What? It was a pun. It was absolutely a pun.
One thing I should let you know,
one
thing I should let you know, Persephone, is that the diary is written in Elvish. So unless you speak Elvish, can't read it.
I do not, but I'm sure I can find, I don't know, my best friend who's an elf.
Hello.
Of course I'll help you.
Very clever.
Hey, Will, what time of day is it?
Oh, it's still nighttime, so you guys got here pretty late. You were thinking about stopping, but you ended up pressing onwards. So, it's maybe like 11 p.m., closing in on midnight.
That's the best time to go to the creepy basement.
The sky is clear enough, yeah.
Can I gaze upon it?
Sure, you can, yeah. Roll me an astrology.
The stars say, "Don't go in the basement."
The
stars
this is a real bad idea.
Don't speak in full sentences.
Basement, no.
Is that a 73?
Basement, no.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, nothing.
They obscure themselves from you. It's not as clear a night as maybe you would have hoped.
That's really unfortunate. I feel a little disappointed. So I guess I would kind of not say anything about it, but get everybody to come into the library so we could meet up with Hilda/Persephone.
Absolutely, yeah. You step into the library and Persephone's putting away a blindfold and poring over some diaries.
What you got there?
A diary in Elvish, I think. I can't read it, but I recognize some of the markings. Do you want to take a look? I would pass it to
not
you.
me.
Okay, I'd flip through it. What did you say it was called?
It's just a diary.
This one isn't named.
Oh, cool.
But mold and age has damaged a lot of the content, so still readable enough. I will give you some passages. Let's see if they send with their formatting in Fancy Grounds. That's the first passage. I don't know if you want to read that one, or I can read it.
Long and unremarkable life, given everything in my service to the shattering, for what? I do not know if I can trust him. Something is not right. must learn more. I will accept his strange invitation. What will I learn there? Up in the witch's spine.
Flipping over the page, and they're rotted pages away, so you can only make out some of the wording and translate it.
I would read it, but I would say there's pieces missing. A lot of the words have been rubbed off.
What is this shattering?
I don't know what it means.
Yeah,
I don't know what the witch's spine is.
Would we know any of these? Would we know what the witch's spine is?
Witch's Spine is a mountain range which is to your west.
Yeah.
It's quite a ways to your west. I'm going to see if I can show you guys the map, if I can find that for the world map.
Yeah, that's like in the middle of the continent, if I recall correctly. Far away from us. Yeah, it took us about 2 weeks to get about a third, maybe a fourth of the way to the middle. So this would be another month's travel to get to the Witch's Spine if we were ever to go there.
Yeah, so it cuts the continent in the center, or just off to the west, I guess. Nearest way to get there is where you guys are at Einem Forests. Is to get to Shelmir on the map. Shelmir or Alderheim are the two places. Alderheim is where Polaris might want to go. It's the place where they train mages.
I do.
Yes. Shattering doesn't mean anything to you. Not sure what that's about.
And you read to us.
One?
Yeah, that's the second one if you want to read that one.
Sure. So the sentences are kind of broken. Has given me everything that I have longed for, magic, true magic, and finally feel as though there will be an end to my suffering. Could it be that he has lived for so long as he claims? He appears half my age, and even so, must be wary. Some knights of the shattering still live, and they will already know of my heresy. Cannot trust my new master, not yet. Something wrong with his eyes.
I'm going to give you a little bit more reading. Sorry.
My eyes are so bad. I have to get right up on
sorry. I can read it if you want.
No, it's fine.
We all want Lydia like this. Just
such shitty vision. All right. I grow sick of his short-sighted vision. He sits on so much power, so much potential, and yet he moves at the pace of a half-witted sloth. Not all of us have an eternity to wait for his promises to come to fruition. What's worse, I have spoken my mind to him, and he dismisses me as though I were a simple minion. Would a minion be able to organize and execute the greatest massacre in a century? I am Sir how do I say that well?
Adarian.
Yeah, I am Sir Adarian. History remembers my might, and my mind sharp now as my blade ever was. My bones may bend and break more easily now, but I am still Adarian, once Knight Commander of the Shattering, and I will make him show me the respect I am due.
So
was Adarian?
Adarian is the mask. Yes.
Yeah.
So he said this was his library. That fits that the mask that Persephone put on Victor said he was Adarian, the heartless man. That this was his diary. Okay. I do have one last piece. I'm sorry. And then we're done. But this is the last entry in the book.
Don't be sorry. This is great exposition. I like it.
I love it.
This is the last bit in the diary that you can make out.
Okay. I am a fool to have ever given my pledge to an uninspiring beast like Garrow. But I have settled the storm within. I will not die. I will not go to the night like a primitive mongrel, awake one moment, asleep forever the next. Oh, I will do as he commanded, to be certain, but the army will be mine. He has unknowingly showed me a means to achieve my own immortality. I do not need him any longer. I will find a suitable host, raise my army, and then I will destroy them all in one fell swoop. I am a Darien. I am eternal. I am a Darien. I have reft asunder my own heart. I am a Darien. I am a god. All of Penumbra shall be reforged in my image.
Ooh,
That's one hell of a live journal.
Yeah. This is a manifesto.
Some pretty,
More of a dead
some
journal,
pretty
really.
high-key Tumblr posting. Yeah.
Yikes.
So we know this Adarian character.
Mask.
So this diary is written a long time ago. It's like rotted and molded to a point where, you know, you'd give this thing several years at least, maybe as much as a decade. When you met him, he was just a mask. But he did refer to himself as a heartless man.
Yeah.
As to the shattering, it's something you've not heard of. It may be something worth doing some research on, however.
In this library?
Would be a place, libraries would be a place to do that, yeah.
He mentioned executing the greatest massacre in a century. I wonder if that... I mean, that could have something to do with that book on the so-called Elvis genocide. Have you heard of that tomb, Polaris?
I don't know if I would know about that or not.
Have we?
Yeah, so you'd be old enough to, well, or at least well-read enough to know that elves have been pretty well persecuted for a long time. Story goes, and this is all in the sphere of all of the literature in Penumbra is pretty well controlled by the Emperor. So the so-called genocide speaks to the general narrative of denying that these things happened, as a lot of the books were burned or destroyed, primarily by the Emperor's knights. Turns out this guy the Emperor isn't such a great dude after all. There's a lot of xenophobia, a lot of killing elves in the past. That was, however, more like 500 to 600 years ago. So you'd think that would be impossible for someone like Adarian to have pulled that off. But when you think of the biggest massacres thus far, you can think of the Blood Plague, which is what's happening right now, which has killed a lot more than probably any other act in Penumbran history.
Yeah, these
How
last
long has the
2
plague been
pages.
going on?
Past 2 or 3 years.
Sorry.
Okay.
2 or 3, okay.
Yeah, the last 2 pages in there do those look they were written more recently? They're clearly not as rotted, but
yeah, it's difficult.
are we
to say.
talking
The
like
text
recently,
itself
like
is-
within a year
No.
or so, or is it like also like
Well,
dozens of
yeah,
years ago at least?
That's impossible to say. It doesn't look ancient. It looks newer than some of the first ones.
Okay.
But you couldn't put like this is within 1 year or 2 years, you know.
Okay. I don't know. It sounds like he might be responsible for the plague, which makes sense given what Princess of Red Carnage told us.
Can plagues be manufactured?
I
Can
mean,
masks talk and give instructions?
a good point.
Very.
I don't know if plagues can be manufactured. It's never something I thought to try. Not even my father.
That must be
know.
what this is talking about, though.
What is this shattering?
Well, let's see if we can find a book on it.
Well, I hate to
we
say
need
it
to still
before we do that.
face-
Yeah, if there's something dangerous in the basement, I'd rather not just be stomping around on top of it.
I think it might be prudent, just in case, to take along the book about Ardamon architecture. I don't know much about architecture. I don't know if this library is of Ardamon architecture, but in case we run into something, I don't know, a trap or whatever. Okay, so I'll take it. And I grab it and start looking for an entrance to the basement.
Okay. You start taking a poke around the library. So Persephone's going around to look for the basement. Are you guys coming with her, or are you staying to read and look some stuff up?
I'm going with her.
Okay.
I'll
So
follow
those two.
while I'm walking along. If there's anything that says folklore or history of, I'll stop real quick to pull it out and see if it might be useful.
Okay.
Is
Alright.
there any way that I could make a folklore check to see if I know anything about the shatter or the witch's spine?
Yeah, I'd
Or is it
certainly
just
give you
something
the
that I
witch-
don't?
The witch's spine is definitely something that you would know about. The shattering is, I think, wouldn't be something you know about unless, and feel free to tell me, and anyone tell me about this, in fact, if you feel like you would have done a lot of reading of very old books and very old history, then maybe you would be able to roll a folklore check on it. But
Probably
if you're
only
not, like,
pertaining to magic would I.
Sure.
And like more
Okay.
of the like voodoo style magic that she does. So if it has nothing to do with that, then she probably wouldn't.
Okay. No worries. So yeah, you roll me a folklore check about the witch's spine.
Sure.
Danny would have, as if it pertains to stories of like adventure and things like that. She likes to weave it into her storytelling. She likes to retell those to people who may not know them.
Perhaps Danny might know something then. Yeah, you could roll me a folklore check.
Oh yikes! I did not pass. Not even a little.
Oh, yikes.
On nuts.
Okay.
It's a plus 10, but still, I don't think that's
So
great.
here's what you guys know about the witch's spine. People say that it's haunted as fuck, and that's about it. But that isn't to say that people don't say that everywhere is haunted as fuck in Penumbra. Like,
Right.
you know, pretty much any woods that
Yeah.
people don't live in, everyone's like, that place is haunted as fuck, don't go there. So, whether or not that's true is not matter. Of course, you guys can do some
ghosts.
yeah, right. So then, Tomb, Charlie, and Nick, are you going with Persephone? Or are you staying here to do some more reading in the library?
I'm following. If they are on a mission that they think they know where they're going, I would be following. I imagine I would either be. My guess is I would be at the back because
Sure.
I still don't trust the woods, and my perception is that the crazy beasties of the flayed men come from out in the woods elsewhere, the river masks. And so I
Yeah.
would want to be on the front lines if anybody came from the outside. So I've been keeping my eyes about me, watching about that.
Yep. Okay. Charlie, do you want to stay and read, or are you following as well?
You can take the
I
books
don't-
with us. It's a library. You have your
Gotta
card,
check them
right?
out.
Right.
I'll
Make sure you bring them back too, or you'll
Right.
get
I
charged.
didn't see a librarian. Right. I didn't see a librarian, but you can probably sign them out in the guest book at the front and then take them with us.
Mhm.
yeah. Perhaps maybe you should be a bit quieter then.
Sorry.
No, I'll follow along. I don't want to stay up here alone either. Stay near the rear.
I would lead.
I'd walk
Okay.
next to Persephone.
I'll be like right behind them.
Just
I
two
imagine.
witchy ladies walking abreast.
I know. Just we'll lock arms too.
Yay! We'll skip a little.
I would like
Okay.
to. I would like to
Okay.
pick up the other, assuming they aren't too bulky. I would like to pick up these 2 works of fiction and anything else that can fit in my bag.
Alrighty.
Hopefully, they don't burn next to these masks. But
Yeah. No worries. When you guys, assuming you guys take read from these books, we'll have some checks for you to learn some more information as and when you read them. So don't worry about that. So let's see. The group of you continue onwards. Persephone sort of has a rough idea from her witch sense where the entrance to the basement is. There's a trapdoor in the middle of a floor in one of the sort of library halls that you come across in this old, musty, dirty library, which looks like it would lead downwards. And propping the trapdoor open, you peer down into a room which is completely black space. You can't see much in there. It's probably quite far down. And there is a stepladder as well, which seems to lead down into the space.
Are there any torches or sconces or anything on the wall with?
Yeah, there's sconces on the wall. They're just not lit.
I have a
Okay.
tinderbox if we're trying to do that.
I would try first holding one of the torches under a mask to see if it just lights it.
The masks don't seem to light it.
Okay.
That would have been dope. I would like that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
want
it
to
seems
poke
like
at
what it-
the first.
For reference, Persephone, on your witch sense, you would have seen what magic was, if there was any magic in the masks. And it seems like there isn't. However, we can assume that you would have done that while you had a Darian's mask, and that one was definitely, magical.
Sure.
So there's something different about those ones.
Okay.
I want to poke the first stair on this step ladder to check for termite damage, to make sure that it doesn't just fall through as soon as we step on it. So I'll take my fire hardened spear and tap, tap, tap.
Yeah, definitely. It seems, it's obviously old and creaky, but that should be able to sustain your weight, at least the ones that you can check. Who wants to
So
go
can
first?
anyone light this? I'll go first.
Cool.
Tomb.
Yeah, I can make that happen.
I would hold the unlit side of the torch to him.
Yeah, flint and timber.
Yeah, absolutely. You light it up, and you can see somewhat more illuminated down below you a circular room that you're in, a sort of chamber, I guess, that you're coming down into. Not much of great interest in the room, as we said. There's a few old stone pillars. In the center, there is a dais upon which there is what appears to be some kind of talisman. From this distance, it's difficult to make out what the talisman is shaped of or really looks like, but something sort of glints off the lights that you illuminate around the chamber. You'd have to get down there to really see what this talisman was.
All right, I'd put my hand on Polaris's hand, and I would say, if I don't indicate that you should come down, do not come down. And then I will descend the ladder and approach the dais, I suppose.
Yeah. As you get closer, this is certainly where the magical resonance was coming from. It appears to be made out of iron, this talisman. It's been shaped to resemble the maw of a great fanged lizard, and it looks like it would be worn around the neck.
I'm gonna poke it with my dagger, just touch it with my dagger to make sure that it's not trapped. That
It doesn't.
I can detect that
nothing
way.
seems to happen as you do that. You can, in fact, roll me either an education or a folklore. I'd let you roll here as you look at that.
That's a big folklore roll.
Hey.
Nice.
Seems like a success.
Hold
Could
on,
be.
hold on,
Pocket, or you just have it
hold
seen?
on.
You get it.
It's not a success.
Ah, damn. Well, here's what I can tell you
Oh wait,
about it.
yes it is. I'm sorry. Yes it is. Yes it is. A
Okay.
success. I forgot about my manifest destiny. I'm sorry.
It's all good. This is clear. This relic, because it's clearly ancient, it's clearly elvish in design. There's no doubt in your mind that this is of elvish ken. It's obviously magical, but you'd have to do some more experimentation with it to see what kind of magic it holds in it. But it says that elvish magic, which is really what all magic has been sort of based on, or knowledge of it at least has been based on, which, sidebar, is now mostly forgotten and controlled by the Emperor's mages in Alderheim. It's said that this elvish magic was the strongest known to all of Penumbra, but it's been long lost. So this relic here is not only probably very powerful, but it's also super heretical to touch this, or to even be around this sort of thing. The penalty for harboring an item such as this from the Emperor's priests, knights, or indeed just the Emperor himself in general is death. You would all be burned at the stake for this. So the safe thing to do is to burn it, probably, or leave it alone.
What is it made from?
Iron.
Iron.
Actually, wait, I'm not down there, so sorry.
That's all good.
Polaris. Polaris.
May I?
Come down.
Are you
here, please.
indicating for me to enter the basement?
I am indicating for you to enter the basement as fast as you can.
Okay, I quickly enter the basement.
I just pointed it. Like, I don't say anything. I'm just pointing.
Okay.
Does that mean what I think that means?
What I know?
Yeah, I mean, it's safe to say that as a trained elven magician,
As a
you
trained
probably
elf.
as a trained elf,
You've got papers.
Yeah, you got your elven papers.
It took me a really long time to get these ears trained. Okay, I would tell Persephone exactly what it was.
Yeah, okay. That's what I thought. So, Tomb.
Yes.
Tomb.
Yes.
Come down and bring something explodey.
No problem. I go downstairs.
You bring yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, burn it.
What do you want to go boom?
And I indicate the talisman.
Oh, this won't destroy it. It'll just make a loud noise.
We have to throw it in the fires of Mount Doom.
But I don't care. I can make it go boom.
It was either destroy it, or what was the other option? Leave it alone.
Well, okay, so sure. I mean, so here's the thing. Like this thing statistically would give you probably some kind of magical ability.
Yeah.
So whether or not Persephone gives a shit about this thing is she's a witch, she's unlicensed anyway. This might be like right up your alley.
Right.
The second thing, it probably has something to do with Adarian, so it could be a clue. The other side of it is, well, if you were to return this and someone who knew what it was saw it, then they could burn you at the stake.
Then we
for
get
it.
jumped by the cops. Yeah.
Actually, I want to, if it's possible, I would love to retcon calling Tomb down.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. All right. Then she would take it. She would take it and wrap it around her arm under her robe.
Okay.
Great.
Are you cool with this, Polaris?
Yes.
Cool.
What does
there anybody that
does
we
anything
can-
happen?
She wraps it up, puts it away. So you guys are probably just waiting in silence to see what Persephone and Polaris do down there.
Yeah, my eyes are darting around this entrance to the basement, making sure that no one is approaching.
Is there anybody that we
I'm
can
writing
trust
in my
back in
notebook.
town that might be able to tell me if this does anything?
Are you asking me that? Or what?
I was asking Polaris. Sorry.
Of course.
I imagine we can find someone. I've made some connections.
Excellent. All right, I guess this is it. I guess expected a bigger basement, but
Don't show that to anyone yet.
definitely not.
Keep it as secret as Charlie did that mask.
Yeah, I'll keep it secreter. And she ascends the step ladder. Weird altar thing down there.
Strange.
If you guys want to look.
I mean, I'll go take a look at the altar. Were there any markings on it? Why was there an altar in the basement of the library?
I assume the cult maybe had use of an altar, Nick? Maybe.
Yeah, but this is like a regular library, right? Like, we just found some novels and some history books. Like, I don't understand. This is
And
my
a
disconnect.
diary about shattering and
Anything to
Power.
Nick, I don't want to be the one to
Magic.
break this to you, but they don't usually build public libraries out in the middle of the woods.
Yeah,
This
that's weird
was
too.
Someone's
What's
personal
going-
library.
This was someone's personal library.
Yeah, I mean,
So we should be finding more personal stuff, unless the burned up diary is the only personal item in the vicinity. We should explore. Is there like a reading room? Is there an office?
Well, we just need to look around everywhere. We just came to the basement because Hilda thought there was something here. Which again, I'm fuzzy on Hilda.
There
Like,
was.
why were you like? I know that there's a basement. We need to go look at it.
Victor yelled to not let me get here.
To
That's
not
that banger's
get-
intuition.
that makes sense. Is there anything besides the altar? Is it just empty otherwise?
Just the altar.
Just the altar.
And there was no
Is there
symbology
Some
on the
pillars?
altar.
I thought maybe there
pillars.
might have been, but
Just
no,
some
not that I
rickety old
saw.
Stairs.
Strange.
Let's go
Creepy.
back and look at the books, and maybe we can find something on the shattering.
Yes, let's
Yep,
let's
I'd
not
like you to
speculate.
roll the perception awareness checks.
Everyone?
I was keeping a specific eye on looking around.
We'll give.
Okay.
Let's see that roll. It's because Nick is taking an eye that I get, but you guys have a roll there.
Oh, I totally got mine.
Hey.
I did not. Oh, I did.
Okay.
I'm a liar. I totally did.
I
am
don't.
in my book.
I don't
like this.
think mine is. I think mine is not a success. So, no awareness for me.
Yeah, that's going to be a no.
Okay. By the way, Persephone, for having taken the talisman, you gain 3 points in corruption.
Okay.
So don't worry about that.
Oh
Corruption. It can't possibly mean something bad.
That's good. So anyone that succeeded on their perception awareness check, you see as you're coming back out for the ladder and starting to explore around the rest of the library, you see this thin and strange-looking hunchbacked man who's like peering around a corner of the library. It's like bookshelves at you, and he kind of scurries from one to the other with surprising speed. He's wearing these long, sort of like tatty robes, and he seems to be eyeing you somewhat nervously.
Does his face look sewn on?
No, it doesn't. But you can't make out a lot of his face underneath the robes.
It's a
Alright.
good question, though.
It's valid.
I think we found a librarian.
when you say that, he's like ears perk up. Yes, yes, and he like comes out as though you validated the fact that maybe you're seeking books. As he's been like eyeing up your weapons somewhat nervously. Looking for books. Yes, librarian.
Yeah. This whole time, while I'm about to have this conversation, my hand is firmly on my weapon, ready to stab if there's any aggressive movement that comes from this sketchy gentleman. Because this seems like an
sweet old man.
in the creepy library in the middle of the woods that you just told me was just weird. I don't think so. Hey, friend, what's
his hand in a non-threatening gesture? He looks nervous when you reach for your weapons, and he's kind of nervous in general.
I'm gonna be speaking kindly, but I'm gonna keep my hand firmly on the pike. Hi there, friend. How are you?
Yes. Need the book?
Yeah, absolutely. My name's Nick. What's your name?
Librarian.
That is a good name. That is apt. You were born for this job. Yeah, we were just curious about some of the, some of the stacks you got here, and some information. Maybe you could point us in certain directions. Would that be all right?
Yes. Lots of books. Librarian indexes.
Very good. Excellent. Well, I think my friends had some specific questions that they would want going forward. Y'all want to... This is Librarian, by the way. He's the librarian here.
Hello?
Do you mind if we borrow some books?
That's okay.
Okay.
Do you live here? Did you know the men that were here?
He nods nervously. Yes, Batman.
Did you?
Librarian Hyde.
Have you been eating? Are you okay?
Oh. Librarian has food. Pickles.
Okay.
Good. Those will keep for a long time. That's a good idea.
What's the deal with the basement?
Librarian doesn't go there. Dark room. The bad men go there sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't think you have to worry about the bad men anymore.
No, they come back. Always do.
By the bad men, Sorry.
It's okay. What material are the floors made out of here?
Wood. Yeah, it's wood.
Okay. There's no, stone floors anywhere?
Seems like there's stone walls, but not stone floors.
Okay.
So, what books you looking for?
I had a couple of questions. By the bad men, do you mean the folks who wear the masks?
He nods.
Okay, just checking. Making sure that we weren't, we didn't have two separate. So we found a couple books we found interesting earlier, but maybe you could point us in a direction that could help us, because we found something and we wanted to learn about something called the Shattering. Are you familiar with the Shattering?
No. Yes. Old book.
Okay.
It's like...
Yeah, lead the way, Dewey Decimal System.
Dewey. His name is Dewey.
Dewey. Can I call you Dewey?
Okay.
All right. Dewey the Librarian. Lead on, Librarian.
Okay. And he leads you through the library and gets up a little step ladder and crawls up it, scurries his way up, picks out this old dusty leather tome, carries it in both hands and shuffles down the ladder and passes it to you. And it reads The History of Shattering.
Oh shit.
He grins.
Thank you.
You not
very
find
much.
you not find this book anywhere else. They burn most copies. So
Oh dear.
be careful. It is collector's item.
Very nice. Would anyone else like to do the honors? And I will extend the book as far away from my person as I can.
I'll take it.
Okay.
You need anything
What kind
else?
of library is this? Dewey? What? How did you come to be librarian here? Who owns this place?
Oh, heartless man. Built it long time ago. Dewey, born near, lived here.
And so it is his. And the bad men, they work for the heartless man, right?
Yes. Let me stay here and organize. Look after books.
Why do you stay when your employers are frankly evil?
I love the books. So much knowledge in them. Always more to learn. Someone must look after them, else the bad men, maybe they burn place down. All the books gone. No one ever learn about these things.
Librarian, I'd like to talk to you in private, if I could.
He looks very nervous about that.
Maybe you could show me your stocks? I mean you no harm, I promise.
I guess that's okay. I have
Nick,
room.
could I have my... Sorry, 1 second. Nick, could I have my... Or not Nick, I'm sorry, Charlie. Can I have my Epsom salt back?
Yes, I don't. Yeah, I didn't need it. Here. Appreciate
Alright,
it.
show me your stocks.
Oh, okay. He leads you into another room. Starts showing you around.
I'm just gonna quickly show him how to cast a magic circle to protect himself.
He's like his nose starts wrinkling up as you spread the Epsom salts down and start to teach him, and he shakes his head. Librarian does not want to know. I read. Do not practice. Danger. Shadow.
Just if it comes to it, you know how to protect yourself, okay?
Librarian knows many things, but too dangerous. The cost.
It's a little dangerous, but it's less dangerous than those men who sew their faces on.
They use same powers. At first, they think it good, but the sea corrupts.
Okay. The option's there for you. And we can go back.
The two of them come out a few minutes later. Yeah. So any books? Yes.
Do you know of someone named Garrow?
Has a long, hard think about it. I do not know many people. Is he in books?
I think that he was a friend of the owner. Friend is a loose term. An acquaintance of the owner.
I never see what the bad men do, but down there I hear voices, other voices. They speaking with. Perhaps this Garrow is someone they speak to. with the talisman.
With the talisman. What talisman?
It is the talisman of the shattering.
What does that mean? Those are words I don't know what those mean.
He looks to the book again. Well, shattering, ancient order of elf knights. They protect the world from bad men and bad spirits. But lately, talisman used for bad men.
Well, we'll be sure to keep an eye out for that. What's it look like? Could you describe it if you saw it? Is there a picture in the book?
No, great monstrous lizard.
Ah, okay. I haven't seen anything like that, so we'll keep an eye out for that going forward, but that's good to know. I also picked up these... Oh, sorry.
What about that name? Do you know that name? Do you recognize it from any books?
He, in that book, one of the knight commanders. Very old.
And then he became the Heartless Man.
Well, story is he fought humans, but watched elf people absorbed into the machine of human imperialism. And then he disappeared. But what happened then? I do not know. Said he goes to the witch's spine. Many people get lost there.
So what you're saying is that this knight, this elf knight named Adarian, went to the witch's spine, and you don't know what happened to Adarian after that, but the Heartless Man's history begins at that point and returns here. Have you ever seen them in the same room together? I think they might be the same person.
He shrugs his shoulders. I do not know who Darian looks like. I have only seen Heartless Man. And he has many bodies. It is just a mask now.
Right. That's a good point.
Whatever he found in Witch's spine must have given him that power.
So I think I'm going to check out a couple of books from the library today. Do you have like a stamp card situation? Do I need to sign up for a mailing list? These are the three I'm going to take, and I'm going to present Lies Told by Our Parents Volume 1, Vampires and Goblins. Someone else picked up the other one. And I'm also going to take the two novels, The Curious Case of Mr. Rook and His Missing Gorilla. Do you know what these are about? Have you read these?
Yeah, but not good read.
No? Yeah. It's good to pass the time, though.
I have written many reviews in my own books. If you want some recommended reading list.
Yeah. Do you have like a Yelp page?
He nods and scurries to go and get his Goodreads, yeah. And frost you a page of
I will turn, as he scurries off, I will turn to the group and be like, so we're trusting this person, right?
He seems harmless. What about the Witch's Spine? Are there any books on history of the Witch's Spine, topography of the Witch's Spine, folklore surrounding the Witch's Spine?
If you ask Dewey, he'll give you a book entitled Ghosts, Ghouls, and Geists, The Witch's
Nice.
Spine.
That is a great title.
Excellent.
And thank you, Lawful Stupid RPG, for the host. Welcome in, you guys. I'll look around a creepy library right now. Yeah, he gives you some other books as well, but nothing which immediately jumps out as something which is pertaining to what you guys have been specifically looking for.
Librarian, would you happen to have any information on the Arkenberry Cathedral or the crows therein?
One book I had, but doctor come here years ago. He take it, I never return. He is from town.
From Einem?
Librarian would go, but I could not leave. He has book. He gave name Finn something. Yes. Physician.
Strange. He claimed to not know much about the crows.
Well, he has only
Oh,
book
then.
that I have ever seen on crows.
I'll have to ask.
Liar.
One more question. Is there anything you have pertaining to the blood plague? Or just medicine in general, truly?
I have Physician's Almanac. 12 volumes, in fact.
I feel like I could get those in town if I needed. Anything...
Expensive.
Yeah, true.
This is true. I'll have a look at them, if nothing else.
Yeah, he runs and brings you a heavy stack of the Physician's Almanac, which is 12 volumes.
Great. I'll start going through pages. I'm looking for stuff specifically having to do with blood and, the plagues they're in.
Yeah.
Then perhaps the humors of blood,
He also
if that still exists.
Yeah. Cool. So you can have a read of that. Any other books people would like to get from Dewey, the librarian, while you're here?
Anything that has book, you go.
Is there any books on? I might have probably read them, but anything on like constellations or like planetary bodies?
Dewey will sort of like have a think and say,
Not stars, but where stars are born.
and he runs and grabs you a book entitled The Mysterious Astral Sea, which he hands
Wonderful.
over. Yeah.
The mysterious
He says-
astral sea.
Not all. I do not know if all real, but writer claims to have gone to Astral Sea and return.
This is wonderful. Thank you.
He smiles.
I really.
What's your favorite book? What's the one you like the best? What's the prize of the collection?
Oh, so difficult. Depends on interest, but librarian likes to read.
He looks embarrassed for a second.
Great romance.
Oh,
Oh, nice.
I could show if you want.
I'll take a look. I don't want to take it out of the collection if it's your favorite. I just want to, I was just curious. You seemed like an expert.
He hands you a book called Saint Aldemond's Great Loves, and one of which is architecture, by the way. But the other seems to be a long list of great romances, which the guy has gone through. He says, I have several volumes. Feel free to borrow.
Who is this Saint Ardemond character?
So he's you'd recognize the name at least from all the statues around Ostwald. He's an Ostwaldian saint, bit of a martyr figure is probably what you'd know. Built a lot of great churches and temples, and then died in a pretty horrific manner. Had a couple of great loves along the way too, apparently.
Persephone would find the smuttiest looking cover and slip it into her bag. As sneakily as she could.
I thought you said sneak it into your bed.
Well, later, yeah.
Later, yeah.
Just every night you like sneak it in.
You pick up a copy of Elves Gone Wild, which Dewey slips to you. It's got pictures.
Writing it down.
I'm gonna tear a page out of my my book.
Insist. Oh, I'll leave.
Go ahead.
And I'm gonna hand it to Dewey. I'm no great author, but I wrote this for you. I have a feeling out of all the books here, none of them were written for you, and I thought that you might like that. So it's just, Dewey is a simple man. Caring for books is his only plan. Ensuring knowledge endures as stories open doors. His is a meaningful lifespan.
Oh,
How cute.
just like in great poems.
It's
Thank
not
you.
great, but like okay-ish poems.
Oh, you must have book. I must catalog it here. Send for a copy here. Where can I find your books?
I don't have any, but if I ever, I'll give you the first edition.
Well, if you need someone to transcribe, Librarian here has many tools for publishing books. I would be honored.
Oh, that's actually really good to know. Thank you. Thank you for your help.
Most welcome. It is nice to have good people around.
It's getting late.
Right.
It's gone midnight by this point. Dewey will show you to some like simple looking cots, or you could always sleep outside and start a fire if you prefer that. He says
it's a couple hours. It's a couple hours back to the boat, right?
Yeah, a couple hours back to the boat in darkness, possibly more
Yeah.
creatures out there. He says,
If you stay, be careful. Keep eyes out in case bad men return. Same if you leave. Woods are not safe. Not at night.
Yep, we'll stay here.
Good. Good, then. Dewey make some tea.
and he
Thank you.
pauses
Alright.
around to make some tea for you.
Seems like a nice fella. I wonder where. Yeah, how big is this library? Is it just like a house-sized building?
A little bit bigger than a house, so probably like if you put two houses together. It's spacious. It's just that it doesn't have many like living rooms in. It's just like library halls basically. Yeah.
And the room that we have these cots in is just going to be a library hall that has cots in it?
Yeah. They're just in like a I guess where you might have like a study area, like a study room. He's just put some cots in there, and it looks comfortable enough.
Great. If there are any what's hanging on the walls, actually? Are there portraits? Are there maps? Anything along those lines?
Yeah, there are definitely maps around, some of which are of real places, others fictional. So, like, fantasy worlds are up there as well. There's poetry up on the wall, and some artwork as well. The artwork is really old and moldy, though, so it's almost impossible to figure out what it is. But it looks like sort of landscape art.
No portraiture labeled Knight Adarian.
You could roll like a perception awareness if you're really having a scout out of all of the.
If it's not obvious, then I'm good. Thought we could get lucky.
Yeah.
I would post up and take the first watch whenever we're ready to get settled.
Mm-hmm. And presumably people are reading books tonight.
In the middle of the night,
Yeah.
Persephone would sneak back down to the library and look for anything pertaining to witchcraft or magic with a K at the end, and just
Roll me a
diabolism in general.
While you're doing that, roll me a agility stealth.
Yeah.
Oh no. Okay.
Since I'm literally purposefully sitting by the door.
Right. There are people awake in the house. Oof.
I do not pass. As I pass Nick, then I'd be like, I can't sleep. I'm gonna look for more stuff to read.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Just be careful down there. Don't go wandering.
I'll yell
Scream
for
if you need us.
to.
Yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as you get over to like the forbidden section of the library, you see that Dewey sort of like is peeking his head around the corner again, and like scurries
I would call him
towards
over
you.
to me, actually. Yeah, be
Mhm.
like, got anything on magic?
What color mana?
Dangerous books to keep, but Librarian keeps some.
Very expensive
What?
cardboard.
What kind?
Charming, sorcery, illusions.
I take a look.
And
This is between me and you, librarian. Secret.
He nods. I keep secret.
And,
I would actually slip him a penny for that.
Okay. Yeah, he hands you a grimoire, which has been locked shut. It actually has like it's like a teenager's diary because it has like a lock on it, but it's like a chained lock which has been bound several times. And he also hands you the old rusty key as well.
Not been opened in a long time.
I'll be careful with it.
Okay.
And I would begin to read that in my room, in the privacy of, or like somewhere private. I don't know if we're all sharing a room or whatnot.
There's plenty of space around. You can light a candle and take a read over.
Yeah.
Over
There's a
the
nice
evening.
big overstuffed armchair.
Yeah,
The
definitely.
bean bags in the children's section.
Yep.
And
so
then I
let's
would
see.
also grab another bigger book and put it like behind it, so that if anybody walked up to me,
So bind it. Yeah. Smart. Okay, let's see then. So
dubious.
yeah. Done this before. Danny, you're reading a book on ghouls, geists, and ghosts, ghouls, and geists, which is fine.
Yes.
So
I'm just laying in my cot reading it until I fall asleep, pretty much.
yeah. There's a lot of ghost stories in here, of course. None of which you give altogether too much credence to, seeing as the author, the historian of this, has apparently never visited the Witch's Spine. So one of those sort of ancient world historians who writes very extensively about the strange people of the Witch's Spine, but has actually never visited it, so has these, obviously odd and incorrect preconceptions about what life might be like on a Witch's Spine. But between various different, obvious inaccuracies, just based on your own knowledge, because this book's pretty old as well, you do find a story about the town of Shelmere, which I'll be spelling for in here, which is probably the most famous ghost story that maybe resonates with you a little bit as having heard that name before. So it was once a thriving mining town on the border of the Midlands and the Witch's Spine mountain range. It is now little more than a cautionary tale and a ghost story whispered in taverns across Penumbra. Unlike most mining settlements in the area, the Miners' Guild of Shelmere prided itself on its merry and prosperous relationship with the dwarves of the passes. The guild was said to dig deeper into the mountains than any other, exploring secret tunnels and rich veins that not even their dwarven neighbors dared to expose. No one knows precisely what happened to the hundreds of miners and their families that lived in Shelmere. One day, several years before anyone in the Midlands had heard of the Blood Plague, the entire population of the town simply disappeared and were never seen again. Since the time of the villagers vanishing, very little has changed. Time is slowly causing the town's buildings to fall into rust and ruin, but its structures have remained largely untouched by human hands. Whatever happened in Shelmere, the rumors surrounding it have only grown more wild over time due to its strange and enduring mystery. Some believe that the dwarves grew jealous of the miners' success, or else offended by their aggressive tunneling, and took the villagers westward as slaves. Others claim that the miners of Shelmere found something there, deep beneath the crooked peaks of the Witch's Spine, and unleashed a terrible curse that became their doom. At the edge of the abandoned settlement's tiny graveyard stands Penumbra's tallest and most ancient oak tree, where it overlooks the silent town below. When travelers see the unforgettable oak, its trunk carved and shaped like the wrinkled face of a grinning crone, they know to turn back. Shelmere's sinister reputation affords it a wide berth by even the most desperate refugees and thieves, who fear its curse may take them too and vanish forever if they get too close. And the fancy grounds, in case you wanna... Yeah.
Beneath the crone's face on the tree, does it say Croatoan? Because that...
Come on! Come on!
Oof.
Well, doesn't even get that!
That was immediately, I was like, oh, this is Roanoke, isn't it? Okay. Very good. I'll read that pretty much just until I fall asleep. Before I lay down, I'm going to tell Nick, why don't you wake me up for a second watch?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, sure. Will do. As I'm trying to keep my eyes awake.
Okay. You switch watch. Who else is reading? So we have Persephone and Danny are reading. Polaris, you're reading on astrology, right?
My mysterious astral sea.
Sweet. Where did I write that chapter? There it is. Okay.
Hold on, just real quick. It's an astral sea. Does it contain astral fish?
There are no
knowledge. There's no
It's got astral
knowledge.
trout.
Yeah.
Astral Nemo.
Astral rainbow fish.
Oh, that was
Astral Nemo.
Astral shrimp gumbo. Astral shrimp.
Astral Nemo is my new.
Astral fried shrimp.
I can't wait to see Astral Nemo. Okay, let's go.
Astral Nemo is my new Xbox gamer tag, 100%.
Oh, man.
Beyond our Astral Nemo, anyone.
All right, so not only am I going to, I'll copy this into the chat here in a minute as you read some particularly interesting passages about what the astral sea is, but it's fairly roving and somewhat ranting at times, as the author claims to have traveled to the astral sea and back again. Okay. So, the fabric of reality is created by that which cannot be seen by mortal eyes or truly understood by the minds of humans. The astral sea is a body of liquid which ebbs and flows like the tides of the bitter sea, except that the liquid is shadow, the essence from which magic is born. Where there is shadow, magical adepts can manipulate that to create bursts of energy referred to as magic. Upon occasion, the astral sea bleeds through into the material world, and drops of shadow ripple across the world. Of late, the astral sea has bled through slowly and meticulously. Magic has felt small and inconsequential. Every millennia, the astral sea may flux when a storm hits, or when those creatures which exist within its interdimensional oceans interfere to cause them. When this happens, it can birth monstrous creatures of sinew and strife, and if too much of the sea were to slip through the cracks, the world itself could tear and shatter. The inhabitants of the sea are not of this world. They are ancient creatures from other worlds and times who bathe in the warmth of shadow and use this haven to plot, manipulate, and grow away from prying eyes and outside the comprehension of mortals. Some would say that these creatures are gods, but that would be a bastardization of the term. Few ever rear their heads outside of the sea to look upon Penumbra. Fewer still care for its inhabitants. Instead, most are content to bathe in the embryonic fluids of the sea, unaware of the troubles or even existence of mortals. Here, great structures and edifices can rise and fall over the course of what feels like a moment, and the spirits of the dead and lost may be found and even conversed with for those with the power. The sea is a malaise, and in the same manner as a marsh flytrap, seeks to keep all those who come within its bonds. The natural order of life is that mortals cannot exist in the sea. When a tear opens, allowing them to do so, the sea attempts to cover the wound and trap all inside. Many are the tales of magicians too arrogant to believe the teachings of the lodges of Alderheim, or too hungry for power and knowledge to listen. Their fates are unpleasant. Conversely, in the material realm is so beyond the desires of most beings who make their homes here to be of any value to them. Yet there are those who seek dominion even in this eerily peaceful world of eldritch creatures. So you read for the night, and if you want that in text for you to copy out, that is what you learn of the Astral Sea this evening. Who else is doing some reading?
I'm reading, but I can tell you what I'm doing.
Yeah, go ahead.
I've gone into kind of like the political history book section, and I've pulled a book out, and I'm literally just crossing out all the stuff that's wrong.
Nice.
No, that's not how. Oh, duly elected. Oh, I think not. You know.
Tomb is just being militant. That's just what
in case. Yeah. To
paper.
The accepted. Here's a story I'll give you about the Emperor coming to power, and something that maybe Tim would be interested in is an event called the War of the Fawns, the War of Fawns, rather. So 30 years ago. A rebellion led by a heroine named Marilyn Slate, name check there, raged across the Midlands. What started as a minor insurrection against a local baron erupted into a civil war. Peasants took up arms against their rulers, fought brother against brother, and Marilyn Slate's forces amassed a huge army. Tension had built to breaking points. The 100 had been ruling unchecked by Emperor Godfrey. Living and working conditions are abysmal for the peasantry, who are allowed to die in sickness and misery with no aid from their supposedly benevolent masters. Grown fat and greedy on the success of their workers, the 100 had grown to hate the common folk, and as such, treated them ruthlessly. Marilyn Slate had formerly served in the Emperor's army and was a seasoned tactician and general. With her brilliance in battle, she fought a guerrilla war against Godfrey's better armed and trained soldiers, using the forests of Arkenbury to hide her forces and lay ambushes for unwary knights. They were cursed as cowards by their opponents and were mockingly dubbed the Army of Fawns, but Slate's forces bore this name proudly. Noticing the fawn and his own paw, Godfrey called his banners and the 100 answered. One of his finest generals, Sir Wenton, led the 100 to battle, all hungry for the deaths of those who dared to oppose them. Wenton set fire to the forest of Arkenbury and used great machines of war to topple the ancient boughs. They say that those who died there are cursed to haunt the forest of Arkenbury for eternity. Falling back to the marshlands, Marilyn Slate and her defeated army at last found refuge at Fort Howlester, an ancient fortress that each year slumps further into the boggy ground of the marshlands. Sir Wenton's army followed doggedly in their footsteps and lay siege to the last bastion of rebellion in Penumbra. There was no hope in the eyes of those who fought for Marilyn Slate, though they did fight in defiance to their overlords. Those who were not brutally butchered by Wenton's soldiers were brought back to Ostwald to await trial, Marilyn Slate included. After years of bitter war, and for all to see, the rebellion was brought to a gruesome end as Marilyn Slate was subjected to the ritual of the Blood Eagle and her carcass lifted atop the great bell tower of Godfrey's city. While she fought for the freedom of all common folk, such was the strength of the Emperor's rule that many peasants saw her as a heretic and rejoiced her death. Even those who secretly harbored love for Marilyn's cause quickly quashed their feelings, for they knew that no good could come from it. And there's...
Okay, but what about her emails?
Well, that was...
Oh my god.
They already... Yeah. That's a different story entirely.
Okay.
So
That's a good one,
nowadays,
I like
it could be that Tomb really, sees Slate as a hero still.
I think he probably would. I think he would say like, I don't know that anything could have ever ended well by somebody whose mind was warped by being a member of the King's Guard. And if it had been an actual rebellion from the ground up and not by like a notable soldier, maybe it would have succeeded better. But he probably does have respect for her.
Yeah. Okay. And Charlie, are you doing any readings on your Physician's Almanac tonight, or anything else?
Yeah, I'm just gonna read through some of the Physician's Almanac on general disease type stuff. I've probably at least seen Physician's Almanacs before, so I don't think this will be necessarily anything totally new. But I think having these books is a good start for him to sort of advance his perspective.
I think like Charlie would probably have at least glanced through them, but like Physician's Almanacs are really expensive to own as part of the sort of the barrier to entry for becoming a physician itself, which by the way is way better paying, as Dr. Phineas had mentioned.
It's the kind of thing that my father would have had to sell when he lost his previous position.
Right, yeah, and he probably didn't have all 12 of them, because, these are like written over the past 100 years. As medical science advances somewhat, there's a bunch of inconsistencies in the older ones. The new ones are kind of better in general, but it gets updated into various different versions to keep people paying for them. If you take a week to read through the Physician's Almanac, your heal check will go up by 5%, which is to say that read it once every night for a week or two, and your stats will increase that way.
Sounds great. Yeah, we'll keep these.
Yeah. And I should note as well, Persephone, while you're out reading your magic book, the talisman will give you a total, while you bear a talisman, you have a plus 10% to all your intelligence checks.
There you go.
Sorry, not intelligence, willpower checks, which are the magic ones, my mistake. Yeah, plus 10% to all of your willpower checks. So that includes casting spells, incantations, stuff like that.
Yep.
Totally
Thank
worth
you.
the corruption.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
Great risk,
boost.
great reward. Yeah.
You don't know what other effects it might have unless you were to study it, but you're certainly feeling smarter.
Hashtag cursed.
Yeah. You have to eat babies, but no one likes them anyway, so it's fine.
Right, there you go.
It's all good. Is anyone else doing anything this evening? Any other books that you want to take a glance at?
I got one last thing. Is someone else going? Sorry.
I was specifically looking for like magic spells or anything that might interest me.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second for Persephone.
Okay. No sweat.
What you got, Nick?
I'm taking notes right now anyway.
Sure.
Hey, librarian. So this was a personal library, right?
Yes.
That implies that the person who owned this library lived near here? Question mark.
They have somewhere else nearby, I think.
You don't know how nearby though.
Oh, I have an idea. Along the river, perhaps another half day along the river. They have a
To the
place
north?
there. To the north. It is in the ruins of an old castle. The librarian over here, they are building an army there. More of them. Dewey would not advise you go there. Far more of them must men.
I see. That is good to know. That is good to know. Thank you for that information. I will share that with my cadre. I'm looking for maps. Maps of the area, maps of any area that I would have trouble finding elsewhere. Maps of Einum, maps of Oswald, maps of Arkenberry, maps of the woods, maps of this castle that you just mentioned, of the river, anything cartographically related, so that we can, particularly if it's traversable by river. And so that's something, but perhaps most importantly, I want the biggest book of all of the fish that exist that you can find.
There is no such book.
There's no book of fish? Unbelievable. We should write it. We should write the book of fish. All right. Well, I want those maps. The maps, I think, are the target.
Yeah, he will hand you a ton of maps that he can like bundle up and give to you, and this will give Nick, while you're in possession of them, this will give you a +5 on all of your navigation rolls.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. +5 to navigation.
Stephanie, I'm going to let you choose a minor spell from this book as you read it tonight. So pick a spell that works for you, and as long as it's like a minor one, then you can take it.
I will
Is that
at
all
some
you have
point.
to do to learn?
Written game. That's not minor.
I will.
All you have to do
end-
to learn new spells is to study them.
There may be a process to learning new spells.
You don't have
Let's
to tell me now. I
see.
can look it up.
Yeah. Learning new spells over the course of your adventures, you're inevitably drawn into it. Requirements: you must first have access to a magic spell you don't currently know. Yes. You need to create a sacred scroll, and you record the intricate, complex magical formula and prayers temporarily on paper or parchment. Generally, it takes 1 hour to record a petty magic spell, so you can do that tonight. And it doesn't require a skill test. However, you haven't learnt it yet, you need to practice it. It takes 1 day in ceremony to practice the new petty magic spell.
We'll do that on the boat back to town.
Yeah, so you can do that in private there. So basically, it just takes you a day, and once you finalize your research, you make a plus 10% check, which is your incantation check. So you get plus 10.
Oh, I think I have like a racial ability that lets me skip that or like automatically pass
Sweet,
it.
yeah. And then you just record it, so you write it down.
Okay.
I will wake up Danny at some point during the night for the second half of the watch.
Cool.
Kindly, I'm not going to jar you awake and say all's quiet.
There's a snake in the boot.
Cool. And I think, Emmett, you might need to run off now.
I do. Thank you guys very much for the game. Unfortunately, I had to leave early tonight. Won't happen next week. So have fun.
No worries.
Thank you.
Have a good time.
Have a good night.
Much love, buddy. See you next week.
Also, go to Satan's Discord. Thank you. He'll tell you about it at the end of the game.
Stay tuned for more. Questions, anyone? Danny.
I won't use it now,
Yes.
but can I have one of the laudanum vials?
Sure.
Wait,
no,
are you talking to me?
You're
Talking to
asking
me? Yeah, asking Nick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why? You know what? I actually don't care. I don't think that's my business, and I will hand over a laudanum vial.
Thank you.
Good night.
I can trade you. I don't know if it's something that you want, but I wrote you a limerick.
Did you?
Or a limerick about you, anyway.
All right.
The mask is secured in place, bold and brash on his face. More than meets the eye, not just a wise guy. Kindness, caring, integrity at his base.
Thank you. It's very kind.
That's what I've observed, anyway.
I'll try to live up to that.
You have, from what I've seen. Get some sleep, Nick.
Good night, Danny.
Good night.
Okay. So, anything else you guys want to be doing tonight? Sounds
I don't think so. I think I'm good.
good. Okay, so the night passes by fairly uneventfully for both Danny and Nick on watch. And so, as dawn comes, you guys wake up to Dewey, the librarian, making you all some morning tea. He's cooked up some eggs as well, and there's some simple sort of like loaf that he's baked too for you guys. So he sort of like bustles around you all to make sure that you all have something to eat and something to drink.
Cool. Great.
Yeah, he seems to be happy to have people around. I'm quite enjoying your company. So, eggs, bread, tea.
Wow. Eggs, bread, and tea.
It's
You
not
get
good.
around a lot. No, it's great. I was just, you spend a lot of time here in the library in the middle of the woods. I didn't know that you'd have access to chickens and a mill.
Oh, well, some out back. Make
All right.
unleavened bread. Yeah, not so bad. I teach you if you want.
Fabulous. I'll take a look. Sure. Seems useful on the road. I'll go look at where he makes his matzah, I guess.
Yeah. He shows you his little kitchen. It's a pretty simple affair, but it's it's like a simple little oven that he's got, little stovetop sort of deal.
Much appreciated. Thank you. If you don't want us to call you Dewey, we don't have to call you Dewey. We'll continue calling you Librarian.
It's fine. It's been so long. They just call me Librarian.
Well, I'm sure you have other interests and hobbies outside of just running the library. You're a human, so you're a human, right?
He knows, yeah.
Okay. No, you're only human.
Library, cooking.
Cooking's a good hobby. I like it. Do you want us to pay you or trade, barter for any of this? Or?
No. Library's free.
All right. Well, it is a library, so we will be back to return these. But thank you for all your help.
He smiles again. Okay. Where are you headed?
Last night I tell Master Nick of the castle to the north along the river.
Right.
The bad men live there.
So we're going to head back to the boat, friends. And from the boat, we can either continue north and investigate further, having been warned by the Heartless Man Mask and by Dewey to not do that, but also going towards the mystery, or we can go back to town.
I would not go there. As I tell Master Nick, more masked men. Army of them. Probably where the Heartless Man has fled to lick wounds.
Well, I mean, we've been tasked with finding the home of the base of the masks and their creator, and I feel like that would be it, but
Master, he has Master too, no? He has Garrow.
Oh, right.
Maybe not in castle, maybe in Witch's Spine.
Right.
Dewey does not want you to get hurt.
that's true. And Garrow didn't betray him, but he...
No, they were just sort of on they had different ideas of what to do with the power. Garrow was a sit on the power and slow burn kind of guy, whereas Adarian was, let's use the power and go.
Maybe we should...
Why? I want to go over our whole mission here. We went upriver to find the source of the ghosts / the masks.
It's safe to say you probably have, yep.
Which we have done. What else, and what are we reporting? Who are we reporting back to with that information?
Well, the Princess of Red Carnage is the one that gave you this task. You have no means to reach her. She said that she would reach you when the time has come. Right. But she also wanted you to destroy the source of this. So presumably this fortress with the Heartless Man to the north is where the source of some of this is coming from. There's also the question about whether or not the Witch is spying now, and Garrow has holds some answers to it as well. Dewey seems to think that going to the castle is a bad idea. You may wish to return with more might and sort of gather some people to come with you to take on the castle. Fair warning from DM, it would be, if you wanted to go there and storm the castle, there are 6 of you. So you might want some help doing that.
6 of us, and one of us has a black eye, and we're not well armed, and
A couple of other leads as well is that you did find that strange symbol to the Emperor aboard Marion's ship, which still has some question mark over it. You could always go back to Wynham to follow up a few leads. And then there's the matter of whether or not you'd want to go all the way to the Witch's Spine to try and find this Garrow person. It seems like he may be contactable via the Talisman, if Dewey is to be believed. He said that he heard them speaking through the Talisman. So that's another... lead that you guys have to take a look into.
I think that, Nick already thought that going up to this castle was a bad idea, but Ruben also thinks that. We also have a lot more information now, and we have people we can talk to in town to go over new information. Most prevalently, your doctor friend there, Charlie.
I don't recall calling him a friend, but yeah,
well,
I think we should probably talk to him. Maybe you could take a look at me while I do it.
That's true. Fellow library card member, I think, needs to get a talking to.
Yes.
Dewey nods. I would very much like book back. Well overdue.
We've got late fees to pay. Toom and I can probably go back to what's his name, the collector.
Monster Viridian, yes.
Marcus, that's right.
Keep in mind, he seemed to be very worried, possibly about these people to the north. That would now connect with Nick. So he does have a lot of soldiers or like hired guns at his command. That that's definitely an angle for bringing more forces back to take on a castle. Yeah.
So sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I would have shared with everyone what I found out about Shelmere being this town, this ghost town with
ghost town up in the Witch's Spine.
And in nowhere. Yeah. And also I too want to return to town just to see if there's any more knowledge to gain, maybe from Sir Patrick.
Yeah.
Shelmere. If I can seed information about Shelmere and the Witch's Spine, maybe he might know something.
I also think it's important for those of us who are more experienced with elbow rubbing with high society, specifically you, Danny, to see what the power structure of Einem has to say about all this. We haven't really talked to anyone in charge yet. We've talked to the mother at the temple. We've talked with a high-powered businessman, and we've talked with a high-powered doctor, but we haven't talked with any knights or the governor or any of the 100 that are in town. The most powerful or the highest-rated political official that we've talked to in town was Jean when we came into town. So I think that's probably next on our docket, is to try to get to that sort of power structure and tell them exactly what's happening. And I believe, and I will go through my notes, or my maps, my new maps. Is there a map that has a castle on it in the location described?
In the Witch's Spine, you mean?
No. Dewey said that the castle upriver.
Oh yes, yeah. He'd give you the map of the castle. Yeah.
So I would have that.
Yeah. It's north of Einem, so there's not a whole lot of space between Einem and like Arkenbury Forest. So like they're pretty close together.
Right.
Yeah.
But it seems like no one really talks about that area, so maybe they don't know. That would engender us to the power structure. This seems above our pay grade at this very moment. We definitely want to do it because the Princess of Red Carnage sent us on this journey, but I don't think that we can do this alone.
I'll give you another personal power that you've spoken to is Mother Paulina, that Polaris has spoken to. She's someone worth chatting to. And you also have that strange symbol of the Emperor, which is as of yet still unexplained, so she could possibly be helpful out,
Yeah, the strange symbol of the Emperor we would take to the power structure. I guess Mother Paulina could help us with that. Definitely don't talk about the library to Mother Paulina, though, or the dais. Or, pretty much anyone. Maybe Phineas. We could probably talk to Phineas about that, because Phineas also has a book that he shouldn't have.
Right. And honestly, I'd be hesitant to talk to anyone in power about any of this, really. All this talk of creatures of sinew and strife, and it's not quite fitting within the official view of the Empire.
I agree with that.
I would hate to be branded as heretics for attempting to fix something.
Charlie, Nick.
Yeah.
I know how to approach it.
That's good. I have faith. I think that having Phineas as an ally is our most likely scenario. The rest of it can be fact-gathering missions from Mother Paulina, from Marcus Viridian, and then perhaps Danny can find another ally somewhere along the way. You said Prince Patrick or Knight Patrick or whatever. Was it Patrick or Philip?
Yeah, he's a Sir Patrick Chapmeyer.
Patrick, yeah, would be maybe someone who could be milked for information, and I can do my thing, and maybe find a card game, or some gents rolling dice out back, and we'll see what we can do.
Maybe next time, Nick, I'll take you with me to the club.
I mean, I don't want to. This Patrick seemed quite taken with you, so I don't want to.
No, we won't be together. We'll just be working together.
Okay, they won't see through that.
Not when I'm involved.
Fair enough. So I think our plan then, folks, is check out these library books, finish breakfast, do one quick pass during the daylight to see if we missed anything during the day, head back to the boat, and head south back to town out of this place. Correct?
Okay. Sounds like the plan. Dewey will be very, very sad to see you all go, and says, "Please come back whenever you are around."
Absolutely.
I will. Oh, I tell you, up in library there is a burning brazier. If there are bad men around, I will have it lit so you know when they come.
Perfect. Understood.
Good idea, Dewey.
Best of luck.
Thank you so much for everything. Really appreciate it.
If you do get a chance while you're in city to find second volume of St. Damon's Great Loves,
yeah,
would be nice.
We'll keep an eye out.
No. Okay.
Right.
So you guys head back towards the boat. Good.
Well, I'll kind of put my hand on Dewey Librarian's cheek and kiss his other cheek.
As we leave,
Nice
once everybody is out the door, Persephone will be the last to leave. She'll hold up a little baggie of Epsom salt and like shake it at him and just remember, and then slide it in her bag and leave.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question as we're leaving. Are the bodies of the flayed men still outside?
Yes, unless you'd moved them or maybe burned them.
No, I thought this might have been an I Am Legend situation where they just took everybody back, but no. Okay, so we have all the masks, and we're going to head back to the boat.
Okay.
Perhaps we ought to
You guys-
burn these so that Librarian doesn't have to worry about them.
The masks?
The
No,
bodies.
The bodies. That's not a bad idea.
Tomb. Can you?
Yeah, Tomb, you want to make a little pyre here? Yeah, all right. Okay,
Thanks, Tomb.
well, thanks, Tomb,
You're the
Silently
best,
does your
Tomb.
command.
for all your pyre based needs.
Oh my god, for the first time Tomb does something and doesn't make a joke about it.
No, he said something salty about marshmallows.
Yeah.
I don't-
Right, yeah, of course.
Definitely some snack involved.
So, do we see? Is there anything different during the day than it was during the night? Is there anything notable, like a sign that identifies the building, or anything like that?
Yeah, you could roll me like a perception awareness check, I guess. You want to take
Great.
another look around?
What time of day?
Yeah, I'm
is
just
it?
looking
How-
for. I don't learn anything.
It's like dawn when you guys wake up and had some breakfast, so it's like 7 a.m. Yeah, no dice for Nick. I mean, it all looks the same. You had a pretty thorough look around last night, so yeah, you're pretty happy.
No worries. All right.
How long will it take us to get back? 2 hours?
2 hours to the boat, and maybe like
okay.
half a day along the river. Yeah.
We should get back to town by nightfall, assuming no interruptions.
Danny is going to drink her laudanum.
Gain a corruption point.
Uh-oh.
That's in secret, I assume.
Yep.
Were you injured?
Nope.
All right.
Laudanum does sure as hell take the edge off.
Yeah.
Most everything. In fact, it's a powerful. It's a hell of a drug.
Laudanum, not
Danny's
even
definitely
one.
Danny's like probably a little bit out of it if you take laudanum for the next couple of hours. It definitely, takes that edge off reality for a little while.
Yeah, half a day's journey. She will gladly do that before having to go to work tonight.
Yeah. Extended use is like straight up lose your mind, but you guys don't know that. So, take the journey back to the river, along the back to the boat, I guess. It is a unimpeded journey back, although the ground underfoot is still marshy and somewhat boggy. There are no more of the river masked who are hunting you, as far as you can tell, at least. So you're very much on edge as you return back, I'm sure. Reaching the boat, it is where you left it, and having a quick look around, it doesn't look like it's been tampered with since you left it the previous day, as you would have hidden it a little bit along the riverbank as well. So,
I will just the same look around to see if there's any, not necessarily traps, but like tracks. Has anything come by to look? Stuff like that.
Yeah. In fact, along the way back, then. Why don't you roll me a perception awareness check, Nick, to see if there's been any traces of people moving through the forest?
Okay, that's a success.
Yeah. So nothing's moved around your boat, but it does look like a group of 4 passed by the boat. They didn't stop. Presumably didn't see it, but they did walk past it, and they were headed northwards.
Headed north. Got it.
Correct.
Human or elf?
Yeah, humanoid, let's say, yeah.
Cool. All right, I'm going to affix this rope that has... How many masks do I have?
You got 3.
3. I want to take this rope and affix it to the prow of our boat. This is our figurehead now.
Nice. Okay. Sweet. You guys are then making your way back. I won't ask you for the pain. It is likely to be more drive and sail checks, seeing as you guys have kind of got the hang of this little boat. There's only one river to go down, and the journey back is a bit easier than the journey there, seeing as you didn't exactly know where you were last time around. So you take the course of a day to the rest of the day to get back. Yeah.
Right after I drink the laudanum, I'm gonna call. So hopefully before it takes effect, I'm going to call for Nick to come to wherever I'm sleeping.
Okay.
There's like a bunk down below. Yeah.
Knock, knock, knock.
Will you just stay with me until I fall asleep?
I know I'm charming, but maybe that's not the best idea.
I'm not asking for anything else. I just want you to lie.
All right.
If I were asking for something else, you would know it.
Fair enough. And I will enter.
Okay. On the journey back, is there anything else anyone else would like to do? You've got 6 to 8 hours on the river, and it's the boat basically sails itself for the sake of exposition.
I would talk to Polaris a little.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
All right. I would be like, so, do we tell Charlie? I think I figured out what it does.
What do you think?
I can learn and I can cast a lot easier without having to focus near as hard.
When I very first saw it, I was a bit uneasy, but just knowing what's going on in the world right now, I think
We
you should
need
have
the
it.
edge.
I do think that you need to keep it secret. You're not registered, so no one would come looking for you, but
I agree.
yeah, I do think that you should tell Charlie. He told us his secret.
Agree. All right, I'd go find Charlie.
Yes?
Hi, I got another thingy.
Oh, God. I'm
Okay,
not very good
listen.
at keeping secrets.
I understand that. But, you know, if you rat, I'll kill you. So I think that you'll be able to keep this one better. I like you. Don't fuck it up.
Okay. I haven't told
And
anyone
so-
your other name for the record.
And proud of you I am for that. And she like boops his nose with every syllable. And then she lifts like the arm of her cloak and shows the talisman wrapped around. It makes me cast better.
Is that the thing that the librarian was talking about?
I have a hunch, yeah.
So you can use that to talk to the Heartless Man's former master?
I haven't tried yet. A little scared. I did like poke him in the face with a needle and it hurt more than it should have, and
Well, I'm not suggesting that you try, but appreciate you telling me for the same reason that I showed you the mask. It seems like a dangerous thing to be holding on to.
oh yeah, if anybody finds it, they're gonna hang me, like publicly, like in front of people. Mash will cry.
Okay, well, then I guess don't let anyone else know. I mean, I think the rest of the group is fairly trustworthy. I
Liability, obnoxious.
I hope I'm the obnoxious one.
You are. I like you. I just want to say that outside of game, I like you very much. Persephone's just an asshole.
Yeah, of course. No, I count being the obnoxious one as opposed to being the liability as a win.
Well, I mean, you've got... I suppose we'll wait, find out if we really need to use it, and, you know, if the time comes, then we can share. I don't quite want to... I don't want to go knocking on any more dangerous doors quite yet.
Fine. I'll barmaid for a while.
You're good at that.
Shut up. And she leaves.
This is like high school when like older girls are nice to you.
It's not. Yeah, I'm not like a cool kid, but I'm like I think maybe just liked somehow. Like you can't dislike him. He's done
You're a
nothing
doctor.
wrong.
Well, that mask thing was pretty fucked up, to be fair.
That was kind of fucked
That's-
up. But look, it was fine. It worked out fine. No one holds it against me. Nick would never hold anything against anyone.
Absolutely not. Of course. Why would I possibly hold you keeping a secret again that almost got us all killed against you?
The secret. Listen, none of us were endangered from that secret. I'm while we're on the boat, I also want to. I realized no one read the book about the shattering, and I would like to read that.
Oh, I have
yes.
it. I
Smart.
thought I did, but Astral Sea really took priority for me.
Yeah.
Right.
I also took the book that dude was carrying, and I probably, during our interaction, Charlie would have slipped that to you.
Oh,
The
yeah.
magic
Well,
book that Darian had.
Mm.
Was
Right.
that not his journal? What book was that?
Darian had
Was
a
it his
different
journal?
book. I thought Darian's book
no,
was his
he-
journal.
What was?
Yeah, he has a journal, and you also found a magical book, which Dewey gave to you that night,
It talks
which
about
has a lock on
shattering.
it.
Okay, but
Oh, okay.
the book
Right,
that he was holding, that like when we fought, was that the journal?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
There was some
Okay,
confusion about who had the book, I think.
Yeah, I had
yeah.
it. I will say that I gave it to Charlie then.
Yeah.
Right, that's fine.
Because I think
But we'd
last
like to know
episode
about
we
the
said
shattering.
Charlie had picked it up, but then this episode
Yeah.
it was still in the library. But yeah, it's all good.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, the shattering. You can have a read on that. So pretty much similar along the lines to what Dewey was saying to you. The shattering is a secret society of elven knights who existed long ago. Their task being to protect those, protect, I guess, Penumbra, really. They're a bit more of a all-encompassing order rather than to protect Elvenkind alone. You read a bit on a Darian. He was the knight commander of the Shattering when they're at their highest power. He was the sort of commander in charge of the fight against humans when they were sort of persecuting the elves. He fought and lost the war, and after he lost that war, it is said that he fled. In the book, it says to Shelmir, and then was lost in the Witch's Spine from there. Yeah, so he's known. His reputation is that of a, I guess, a true. Maybe not a patriot to the elves, but like a true believer in like Elvenkind and Elven values, which are much older than those of the humans. So he's distinctly anti-Empire. One of the last few rebels that the Emperor was yet to really quash. And he was never killed. He merely fled. And it said that he took his great shame was that he lost the war, and that he didn't manage to win victory. So to some elves, he would still be seen as something of a hero. The elven version of Marilyn Slates, but he survived. But no one knows what really happened to him.
What about the shattering as it stands today, or like at the end of the book? Anyways, is it?
Yeah, I guess the end of the book speaks. Yeah, it speaks briefly that the shattering are said to no longer exist, or those that do have turned from their true cause. It's been forgotten or corrupted.
Okay. Good to know. I would share that with everyone as I would have read it. That's all I would have to do on the boat.
Okay. Anything else while we're on the boat before we get back to Einem? I guess Danny and Nick are below deck.
Yeah, I would just be shuffling the deck of cards that Danny has. And just sort of talking softly to myself and to Danny if she's listening of, the history and what the cards represent and what the suits mean and just various facts and, that the four suits represent the four major pillars of the economy. The heart represents the church, spades are the military, the clubs are agriculture, and the diamonds are the merchants. And that's why the King of Hearts is the only one that has a mustache, because the church is supposed to stay out of war, and the mustache is representative of armed combat, which is also why men of the church have long beards but no mustaches, and just sort of spouting off facts like that.
Tell me more.
Well, there's 52 cards in a deck, 52 weeks in a year. The four suits represent the four major seasons as well. Interestingly, if you add up all of the pips the little dots. You see all the little dots, like there's 9 on the 9s, etc. If you add those all together, you end up with 364. The first Joker is the 365th day of the year. The second Joker is for the leap year. And that's more hidden symmetry within the deck of cards. There's lots of things hidden in a deck like this. You just have to know where to look.
I didn't know that.
Now you do.
And I'll fall asleep.
Yeah. I think as you fall asleep listening to Nick's stories and as the boat returns to Einem, that's where we'll end tonight's session, because we've had a big, I don't know, it feels like a big episode today. You guys learned a whole lot. We've got a whole lot of leads to follow up here.
A lot of black text, man. I got some studying to do before next week.
Yeah, no, I've been writing, so I'm sorry. It's a lot of dumps on you guys today, but hopefully it was interesting. We had that good chance around the library to learn a little bit about what's going on in Penumbra and what has been going on as well. One thing I do want to do before we end the session and go around is I want to roll for corruption. So anyone who gained corruption, which I think is Danny and Persephone, and I'll roll one for Tomb. You can roll me a D10. And you want to roll high?
A D10?
A D10, just a D10. A humble D10.
Cool!
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Oh god. I can't do much worse.
You want to roll high. Got it.
Jeepers.
Doxy drops the doxiest roll of all time.
Okay.
Hey, that's less than your corruption, so you had to roll 1. So both Tomb and Persephone are going to gain a rank. Yeah, go ahead.
No, Danny. Danny.
Sorry, did I say?
You said Tomb.
Yeah, no, I rolled 1 for Tomb actually, because he gained 1 corruption point from the laudanum we took earlier. Danny actually succeeded her roll, seeing as she had gained 1 corruption point, and you need to roll over 1 basically. So you succeeded. So it's just Tomb and Persephone who actually gain a chaos rank. So note 1 chaos rank. I'll just put down 1 chaos or whatever. I'll message M to remind him. And you, Danny, seeing as you succeeded, gain 1 order. So you can put 1 order. So when you get 10 order, you gain a fate point. And when you gain 10 chaos, you gain a disorder, which is basically like a bad thing that is going on for your character. Let's see if I have to roll it for you as well. I don't know if Charlie has to roll on each session. Yeah, I think you do actually, Charlie. I think you roll on every session now to see if you can hold off corruption. Which you can't.
I did not.
So you have 1
Skin
order
of
from
teeth.
last session, and now you have 1 chaos as well.
Hey, evil buddies, Charlie.
Is it like a sliding scale? Does it go back toward chaos, or do I just have a point
well, actually, I'll have to read it up, but I'm pretty sure they are just separate trackers that you have. They may even be on your character sheets. I'll look here in a second, but yeah.
Yeah, there's a chaos and chaos and order ranks, but I don't see easily where there's just like a corruption place.
There probably is a bit for it on your character sheet. If you just note down that you have 1 corruption for now somewhere on the sheet, that should be fine. We can have a search for it later.
That empty circle. You're supposed to put the number of corruption you have in there.
Oh. Cool. Cool. Yeah. There it is. Sweet. So that's something that we're going to keep tracking as the game continues. So obviously it gets easier and easier the more corruption it builds up to start getting chaos ranks than it does to gain order ranks. So order ranks are actually good because you could gain fate points, which are like life saving. But yeah, we'll see as the campaign continues. We're only on episode 6 today, so we've got plenty of chances for chaos and order. So, but yeah, that's where we're going to end tonight's session. I do want to go around the cast and the crew. Did we enjoy ourselves? And where can we find you guys online? Let's start with Kimmy. Great episode for Danny tonight. Very interesting development with the laudanum. How are you feeling?
Oh God, I loved it. I feel like she's embracing the chaos. It's not meant to be the chaos dice, but just I really like the idea of Danny having an escapism option.
Yeah.
You know, it's probably a really, really bad one. But in my head the entire time, I'm picturing Wyatt Earp's wife in my head, who was addicted to laudanum. And I feel like I'm kind of going with Danny, who she wants to be tough and she wants to be kind of, you know, like, I'm in charge of my destiny and I'm a woman and I'm powerful and can use my sexuality, but also I don't know how to cope with this. And I like that dynamic. But I also don't want to make her weak because of it. I want to still make her kind of tough. So we'll see what happens. But I'm Miss Kimmy D85 on Twitter, Miss Kimmy D on Twitch, and this is so awesome. I'm having so much fun. Yay.
Awesome, fantastic. Doxy, big episode for Persephone tonight. Magic item, magic book.
Yeah. I did pick a spell, which I will tell you after.
Nice.
I'll DM it to you. Yeah, hi, I'm Doxy. I'm gross. You should follow me. It's a good time. I'll like burp at you and things. You'll like it. I promise.
Fantastic. Ruben, how about yourself?
I greatly enjoyed taking more of a back seat this episode. I felt like I was just enamored with everyone doing all of their secrecy bullshit and learning things about themselves and others, and yeah, this was great. And the lore dump, I can't wait to dig into that kind of stuff as well. So this is just a delightful experience, and I'm glad that we all survived too, which was nice.
Yeah.
And can't wait to go back and visit our librarian friend. That's going to be a good time as well. Hi everybody, I am the Internet's Mox Ruby. You can follow me everywhere at MoxReuby. This coming Monday night at twitch.tv/D&D at 8 p.m. you can see The Broken Pact, which is the Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica show that I Dungeon Master. This week we have special guest Jimmy Wong, well-known actor from things like Video Game High School. He's going to be in the upcoming Mulan movie, and I know him from Magic the Gathering. And we've done some magic things in the past, and really excited to have him on the show. Yeah, and he's playing a great character too, so hope you guys can tune in for that. And yeah, thank you for tuning in and watching Zweihander and the Blackhearts.
Absolutely. And Lydia, cool episode for Polaris. Being an elf comes in handy, getting to read magic texts. How was that for you?
I loved reading magic texts. I liked reading the Super Ancient Journal. That was really neat. I don't know, I just liked getting to be in the library and get my little Astral Sea book all about Astral Nemo and stuff. It was good.
I feel like other planes of existence are going to be tough for us to get into, but it's good to know about.
For sure. Yeah. Anyways, I am Lydia. You can find me on Twitter at CastleMacLydia. I play on twitch.tv/CastleMac with my family and my friends in my basement. That's it.
Oh yeah. And Speedy, how's that for Charlie tonight? Lots more secrets to keep.
Yeah, more secrets to keep, man. I don't know how he's gonna do it. I mean, at this point, everyone already knows that he's keeping some secret about Persephone, so it's not like he's gonna imply anything else, unless the talisman is mentioned again, in which case he might just break out into a cold sweat. But yeah, no, this was super fun. I'm really excited to like get to the bottom of all this lore. Like, we've gotten a lot more context now, but it's still like there's still a lot of questions that I can't wait to sort of dig into, and I can't wait to have that conversation with Phineas next week as well. As for me, I am Speedy. You can find me everywhere on the internet as Not So Speedruns. I stream on Twitch sometimes, playing indie games, some dating sims, some D&D, that kind of stuff. And you can also check out at Cast Together on Twitter, which is a community of streamers for mental health. We organize charity streams and act as a supportive community for people who are dealing with mental illness. We have a Discord server that's really great that Emmett also seems to really love and keeps shouting out as well. So you should definitely check that out. At Cast Together on Twitter. That's it. Thank you so much.
Awesome. As for my own part, if you haven't yet checked out Zweihander, definitely go and do so. You can check it out on grimandperilous.com. I think that promotion is still going for $40 on Drive for RPG, Zweihander, the PDF, main gauche, 13 supplements for the game is available. So go and check it out on Drive for RPG right now for GM's Day if you're watching it live. Or you can check out later on Tiger.com or Walmart.com, where it's also available for purchase as well. So go and check it out. It's been awesome fun getting to play this game, and we've got some exciting announcements regarding Zweihander shortly here as well. But until next time, my friends, thank you for watching us. And until next time, try not to throw too many net ones. We want to be a little laughing when you do.
Wait.
What's happened?
I have it in icy limerick. If I can read real quick.
Oh my god, yes.
Yes.
Oh, good.
What is this? What is it shattering, and what role does it play? The heartless man, Librarian, a tyrant with his prey. The blood plague is his scourge. He's the cause of the unholy purge. His defeat should be swift without delay.
Nice.
Oh damn, that's awesome.
I feel inspired.
Yeah, can't wait for next week. It's gonna be crazy fun getting into this with you guys. But yeah, we'll see you guys soon. Bye everyone.
Need to make that like the YouTube video.